Hi, I'm Juliet. Gary Oldman directed a music video for a Jewish hip-hop band which he shot entirely on cell phones. He asked me to direct the making of, and when I saw the footage that I'd gotten, I realized I had a unique perspective into Gary's creative process. I approached him and asked if it could develop into a short documentary film. In these interviews, I'm talking to other artists who I admire about their creative process, and like Take Flight, hopefully shedding some light and showing them a little bit differently than they've been seen. So, tell me a little bit about your process. How did you become an actress?
I never tell this story, but it happened it was a production that was done between the first and third grade, the sort of first and third grade when I was a little girl. And I have never been that proactive or that ambitious since. I wish I could be, because I wanted this role so desperately. And this was an Easter play about a bunny who thought that he was a fraud because he couldn't lay eggs. The chicken did all the work, and a very wise chicken with lots of jokes like, you know, don't be a dumb cluck and things like that. And even though I knew the chicken would get the laughs, I wanted the role of the tortured bunny so badly. And so when the teacher asked the question, does anyone have white-footed pajamas? And I knew it would humiliate my mother, but I didn't care. I said no. I had blue ones, but my mother washed them so many times, and we couldn't afford to buy any others, and they're bleached white. And so I got the role of that tortured bunny, because I've thought about that so many times. And I was right. I was absolutely right for the role. I understood the text. And that was the beginning of when I knew, and when it clicked for me for the first time, when I got inside the character. and truly, Uta and all those people helped me along the way. But that was the beginning.
What is the project you've worked on that you felt was the most like a kid playing?
With Third and Oak, it was the rehearsal process, and the creation was, it was just, I mean, it was my sandbox. In The Bear, I think that the play became when we started to be able to do it. And sometimes you do like rehearsals better than you like them farming, you know? But when you're lucky, you like both times.
Right.
You know?
I loved your work in The Amateurs, and I just wanted you to talk a little bit about working on that movie and that role.
Well, it's funny because I almost, when you said about play, of course I went to the theater, but I almost brought up that movie because that kind of ensemble piece, being, you know, away with that bunch of guys, those writers who are also actors, and it was play. And Jeff is an unbelievably generous.
Jeff Bridges.
Yes, Jeff Bridges, sorry. He's an unbelievably generous actor. I mean, the first thing he did was have us down to that beach house of his so that we could all hang out and be together. And I think it reflected that in the movie.
Take Flight shows Gary in a way he hasn't ever been seen. What would you say is the biggest misconception people have about you?
That I'm the little woman. I am a little woman. I am not the little woman.
When something comes together for you as an artist, what does that feel like?
I call what we have and have to do, those of us who have to return to the theater, the sweet sickness. And that feeling feeds the sweet sickness. And so you always have to keep going back, you know, in hopes that your work, that you'll have those growth spurts, and that your work, you'll be able to have that. And you have it, it may go for a whole bunch of years, and then all of a sudden you'll have it again. So you just have to hang in there and keep trying to get better.
We get a rare POV in Take Flight as Gary operates one of the cell cams that we would never get with a traditional camera. It's like being inside his head and seeing through his eyes. If I gave you a cell cam, what would we see?
I have this dueling love affair between nature and the city. You'd see perhaps me lying, looking up through a tree, and what the world looks like when you're lying, looking up through a tree. And then we'd be in Chelsea in New York in our apartment, where you'd see my cat underneath. You always go underneath the lamp, and then you could see the Empire State Building right out the window with the cat with its head in the lamp. These are images that I carry with me all the time. And then you'd see the green of my husband's eyes with those little yellow flecks.
Okay, so I have this film, and it's about Gary Oldman, Jewish hip-hop, and cell phones. How do you think I should market it?
Well, Jewish hip-hop, I don't know. Our late friend, this is Bruce Adler, Harry did so many musicals on Broadway, but he used to do the Shabbat, the Shabbat telethon. Well, you should.
The Shabbat telethon.
You should do the Shabbat telethon. You know, I'd be interested to know what you do because I think it's such. I mean, the three things together are so amazing. I know that there's something out there that if you hook into it, you're off.